I thought we were going to talk about local reparations, and we were going to talk about uh, this whole effort to link local reparations to trying to get this really badly written piece of legislation, HR40, through. I mean, that's the NCOBRA NAARC agenda, that they really want to get HR40 passed. And I think a couple of nights ago, I heard Cam Howard saying that one of the reasons that they were pushing HR40, pushing for local reparations, was because they thought that the momentum would support passage of HR40.
Mm-hmm. And what's your thoughts on that? Because that was Robin's.
Well, I mean,
that was her answer
I wish people would actually read HR40. Especially read the version that came out of the House Judiciary Committee in April. Because I think if people actually read it, they'd see that this is not a desirable piece of legislation, and it is not a path to true reparations.
Dr. Darity, point to some of the specifics of what this new version says, if you can. Just give us some insight, because I'm gonna tell you, there's a lot of people that will read it, and then there's a lot of people that are like gonna just go along. So are there some specifics in there, Dr. Darity?
Yeah, so one of the things that's a specific that should be mentioned is the fact that the bill provides for salaries of up to $170,000 for each of the members of the commission. And as a consequence, it creates a really peculiar motive for some people who might want to be on the commission. They would not necessarily be doing it just because this is a sacred mission, but they would be doing it because they're going to get paid. And so that's one concern. The second concern is that the original version of the bill back in 1989, 1990, provided for 7 members of the commission. The Japanese American Commission consisted of 9 members ultimately. But this piece of legislation says that there are going to be 15 members, 3 appointed by the president, 3 appointed by the Speaker of the House of Representatives, 3 appointed by the President pro tempore of the Senate, and then the remaining 6 would be appointed by the commission's director and approved by a majority of the other 9 members. And these individuals are supposed to be from major civil society and reparations organizations that have historically championed the cause of reparatory justice. Now, since I'm aware that this piece of legislation has been rewritten on a number of occasions, primarily by NAARC, I'm also aware that the objective of having those 6 positions is for them to be the representatives who get appointed by whoever is the director. And so we ought to think about this as being a commission that is heavily influenced by NCOBRA and NAARC and their particular agenda for reparations. So that's the second big point. A third related point is a quorum for the commission is 7 persons in the legislation, 7 persons out of 15, which means you could have a quorum that would consist of less than half of the members of the commission. In fact, you could have a quorum if you simply had the 6 people who were appointed by the director and 1 more person. And so there's some shenanigans going on there. And I think the next to last thing I'll mention is that this particular version of the law says that the Federal Advisory Committee Act does not apply to this particular commission. The Federal Advisory Committee Act is the act that mandates that commissions are responsible for conducting all of their proceedings in the public eye. that they have to have hearings, that they have to make public the substance of their deliberations and so forth. So if the Federal Advisory Committee Act does not apply, this commission, the HR40 commission, could conduct all of its proceedings in secrecy. Okay. And then the last thing I'll mention is the bill is entirely open-ended about what ultimately the commission would be recommending to Congress in the way of reparations plans. And this means in turn that there's no assurance that the reparations plan would be designed to establish the eligibility of Black Americans who are descendants of U.S. slavery. There's no assurance that the bill would prioritize elimination of the racial wealth gap. There's no assurance that the bill would be designed for direct payments to be made to eligible recipients. And in fact, one of the comments that Cam Howard made the other night, and he's the vice chair, he's a national vice chair for NCOBRA, or a national co-chair for NCOBRA. He said that one of the reasons they wanted to pursue local reparations was because it would establish an infrastructure at the local level for managing reparations payments, which means that they do not have in mind direct payments to eligible recipients. They have some sort of notion that there'd be some third party that would be managing the receipt of the reparations funds. And then the final thing that is not a directive for the commission in designing its reparations plan is that this is not a plan that says that the federal government has the fundamental responsibility for meeting the bill. So I think HR40 is a terrible piece of legislation, but there's a number of people who have endorsed it without ever actually reading the bill.
I think I'm speechless because I haven't read this new version. I've skimmed some of it, but I that's a mic drop, Dr. Darity. I feel like we're being bamboozled, and I'm not feeling all right with this at all.
Yeah, I think one of the tragedies is that people have been encouraged to think that supporting HR40 is supporting reparations. And I think we have to sever the two. Being against HR40, you might be opposed to it because you generally don't like the idea of Black reparations. But you can also be opposed to HR40 because it's not going to get us to true reparations. And that's my position.
And just that alone, Dr. Darity, yeah. So this is why I am running. This is, look, we're going to have to trash that. Let's just be honest. We're going to have to trash it. Like, just throw that in the trash. That's what it sounds like. And start all over and rewrite this and make it be very specific to our justice claim for those of us who are descendants of chattel slavery. Like, we're going to have to trash that, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't take the risk with a bill that doesn't give the commission any directives about what the content must be of the reparations plan.
Yeah.
Jackson has said that of all the policy issues that are out there, it is really reparations that strikes at the heart of structural institutional racism.
So why are we pushing a commission then? Why are we pushing a commission?
Can somebody please get security
Why are
for
we
me?
pushing a commission?
Somebody please get security for me.
Why are we pushing a commission instead of
Sir,
reparations?
I'm going to ask you to be quiet respectfully.
Look. You up in the Negroes, don't tell us to be quiet. We don't be quiet. We don't be quiet. No, we speak for ourselves. So I'm asking him a question. Okay?
We are in the middle of
Okay. So MacArthur Foundation funded you $3 million for non-lobbying activities. $3 million for non-lobbying activities? What do you mean? Why do we need a commission to study? A commission to give a bunch of you all $200,000 a year. $200,000 a year going to you all? We're not going to stand back and watch that go on. We don't want a commission. We don't want a commission. And nationally, we're going to rise up against it. Okay? 1989, you introduced HR40 and y'all make no noise about it? You compromised. You're a compromised senior. You're not an elder. You're not an elder to us. Not a fucking elder. Fuck out of here. We don't want it. We don't want it.
You don't want it.
We don't want it.
Do y'all want it in the audience?
We don't want it.
Do you want it?
The MacArthur Foundation paid you. The MacArthur Foundation gave you $3 million to lobby against reparations. Get out of here. Out of here. No, he disrespecting us. Like we stupid or something. Fucking out of here.
Talk about it offline.
As I was